Hello students. Now let's start with Unit 5 Vector Calculus, and the topic is about the introduction to vector calculus and line integrals. So let's have the outline of the PPT. So first we'll start with introduction, and then we'll discuss few basic concepts, and then we move on to the problems, and then finally we conclude. So how vector calculus came into mathematics. So vector calculus is concerned with differentiation and integration of vector fields. You know what is a vector? You would have already studied in your lower classes. A quantity with both direction and magnitude is called a vector. So in this unit, vector calculus is nothing but, you already know what is calculus, differentiation calculus and integral calculus you studied. So now if we are going to go ahead with vector calculus. So we have differentiation and integration done here. So vector calculus was originally developed from Courantine analysis by J. Willard Gibbs and Oliver Heaviside near the end of the 19th century. So let's start with the basic concepts. So I have tabulated few operations here which are very much needed for this particular unit. And next, how it is notations, and what about the descriptions. So first, this is called as del. Del is nothing but this del. The other name for del is vector differential operator. And next is dot product. So dot products is being operated between two vectors. So in the entire unit you will be dealing with vectors. So how to operate dot product between these two? It is nothing but multiplication of two vectors yields a scalar. What is a cross product? If you take a cross product, f1 vector and f2 vector, I am considering two different vectors, taking the cross product between them. The multiplication of two vectors yields a vector. So always remember, a cross product answer will be a vector, whereas a dot product answer will always be a scalar without any direction. So next comes a very important concept of solenoidal vector and irrotational vector. So what do you mean by solenoidal and what do you mean by irrotational? Solenoidal in the sense, when you take the dot product between del and f vector. So f vector is a vector. It can be any vector given in the problem. And you know what is del? Del is called the vector differential operator. So this is how del is defined. Dou upon dou x I vector plus dou upon dou y j vector plus dou upon dou z k vector. Now what is this dou by dou x, dou by dou y and dou by dou z? They are called the partial derivatives. And how do I write a vector f vector? F vector will be given in the problem, but just for the explanation's sake, I have taken it as f1 I vector plus f2 j vector plus f3 k vector. So when I take the dot product, what happens? I and I vector both will be multiplied. So I vector and I vector will get dissolved. So I will be writing dou by dou x of f1, dou upon dou y of f2, dou upon dou z of f3. So that while differentiating f1 with respect to x, f2 with respect to y and f3 with respect to z. So I'll be getting an answer. If that answer is 0, then which means divergence of f vector is equal to 0. In other words, del dot f vector is equal to 0. Then I call the f vector as a solenoidal vector. Now coming to irrotational vector, a vector f vector is said to be irrotational if cross product between del and the given vector is equal to 0 vector. So why do I write 0 vector? So should if I write 0, whether it is wrong? No issues in 0 because I've just mentioned it as 0 vector. Why? Because as I mentioned here, cross product of two vectors will always yield a vector. So that is the reason why I had written it as 0 vector. So you know what is del? This is how del is defined. And you know what is f vector? This is f vector. Then how a cross product is defined? Cross product between two vectors, right? Because del is also vector because we have I vector, j vector, k vector. So taking cross product between two vectors is defined as a determinant. What is common between these two? I vector, j vector, k vector. And what is the second row? Second row will come from del. dou upon dou x, dou upon dou y, dou upon dou z. And the third row will be coming from the f vector, f1, f2 and f3. You know how to expand a 3 cross 3 determinant. And suppose the answer is equal to 0, 0 vector is called irrotational. So what do you mean by irrotational? If I'm going to split this word, I'll be writing irrotational, which means rotational. There is no rotation. So curl means rotation, curly hair. So if I say curl, there is no curl, which means 0. Then I can say it is not curled. So the other word, other name for it will be irrotational. So have you understood this concept? This basic concept is very important for just moving inside the unit. So again I'm repeating del dot product cross product of a dot product between two vectors is equal to 0. I call that vector as a solenoidal vector. If the cross product between two vectors is equal to 0, then I call that vector as a rotational vector. Now we'll have a few problem and okay, let's move on to problems of solenoidal and irrotational. So let's start up with this. So vector field is given by a vector is equal to, they are given x square plus x y square I vector plus y square plus x square y j vector. Show that the field is irrotational and evaluate the scalar potential. Right. So they have already given this vector is solenoid. Show that the vector is solenoid. I'm sorry. Show that the vector is irrotational. So what do you mean? Irrotational vector will always be, curl of that vector will be 0. So since I know the condition, I will write curl of that a vector is equal to curl cross a vector is equal to I vector, j vector, k vector, dou by dou x, dou by dou y, dou by dou z from del. And from a vector I am having I coefficient, I will write it in the first column, j coefficient I will write it in the second column, and there is no k coefficient, so I will be writing it as 0. While I am expanding this 3 cross 3 determinant, I am seeing that I am getting an answer as 0. So what happens? I will say therefore the a vector is irrotational. So now how do I find another part, second part of the question? They are asking to evaluate the scalar potential. What do you mean by scalar potential? Scalar potential is nothing but gradient of phi. Phi is nothing but some scalar. Scalar in the sense without I vector, j vector and k vector is called a scalar. So a vector is equated to gradient phi. So you know what is a vector? This is a vector, gradient phi, right? Now what I am trying to do here, a vector dot dr vector is equal to gradient phi dot dr vector. So both side I am operating dr vector. So gradient of phi into gradient of phi is nothing but del phi. Okay. Remember this, gradient phi is nothing but del phi. You know what is del? Dou by dou x I vector, dou by dou y j vector plus dou by dou z k vector. You just keep this phi on top of the partial derivatives, right? So that is called as gradient phi. It is also called as del phi. I am taking the gradient phi dot dr vector. Dr vector is dx I vector plus dy j vector plus dz k vector. When I take the dot product, I will be getting dou phi by dou x dx, dou phi by dou y dy, dou phi by dou z dz. So which implies dou z is equal to dou phi. Sorry, d phi. So which implies, so I can directly take this as d phi is equal to a, this is equal to d phi is equal to a vector dot dr vector. So it's very simple, just integrating this with respect to your scalar, with respect to your dx, dy and dz, you will be getting an answer. And it's very important is, one thing you have to note down is repeated terms should be written only once. So now uh, so this is how evaluate the equation of the tangent plane and normal line to the surface at the point this. How do I get a point? It is just a vector. From this I can get the point of x as 1, y as 2 and z as 2. Right? So the point is 1, 2, 2. So what is this? xyz is equal to 4. xyz minus 4. I'm just bringing to the other side, right? That is called as phi, because a term without vectors will be taken as phi, gradient. So del phi is equal to yz operating, remember Phi, what is del phi? Gradient phi. So operating del over this phi, I am getting this. And del phi at this point 1 comma 2 comma 2, I have substituted in place of y and z 2 and for x I have substituted 1. This is what del phi is. Equation of a tangent plane, this is the formula r vector minus a vector dot del phi is equal to 0. Right? You know what is r vector? R vector is xi vector plus yj vector plus zk vector minus a vector. In place of a vector, you will be writing this one, what is given in the problem, dot del phi. That's the reason why I found out del phi is equal in the beginning. So taking the dot product and getting equating and get an equation of the tangent, right? So if I take the dot product, it's going to be the equation of the tangent, and if I'm going to take the cross product, it's going to be the equation of the normal, because now tangent and normal are perpendicular lines. So equating, and both equations I'm having, so equating ij vector, I'm getting the required equation of the normal plane, right? So let's have the problem under line integral. So this is a very important concept. A line integral, work done by a force in moving a particle from a point A to B is given by integral over A to B f vector dot dr vector, right? So this is the formula for a line integral. Line integral in the sense it is only a single integral, right? You would have already studied in the previous unit. Now I'm going to apply a force, right? I'm going to apply a force field for moving a particle from the point A to the point B. So this is how the problem has to be evaluated. So suppose an F vector, any vector is given, is the force field. They're asking you to evaluate the work done by F vector along the line 1, 2, 3 to 3, 5, 7. So from this point to this point is moving. So how do I get one straight point? Because I cannot write it as 1, 2, 3 and 3, 5, 7 on top. I need any one number, right? So what do? I have to get some single value of these 2 points, connecting these 2 points. So what will I do? I'll take x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2, and I apply the formula of analytical geometry of line joining 2 points, x minus x1 by x2 minus x1 is equal to y minus y1 by y2 minus y1 is equal to z minus z1 by z2 minus z1, equating to some constant called as t. So substituting the values of x, y, x1, y1, z1 and x2, y2, z2, equating to t, I am getting this value x, y and z. So r vector is equal to xi vector plus yj vector plus zk vector. It's very, it's a well-known concept here. In place of x, I am substituting this 2t plus 1. In place of y, I am substituting 3t plus 2. In place of z, I am substituting 4t plus 3. So dr vector is equal to 2i vector plus 3j vector plus 4k vector dt. Right? So differentiating this with respect to t. Very important. So when I differentiate this with respect to t, I am getting 2, 3 and 4. So now what do? I get a common limit for t, right? So whatever in place of x, I can substitute 1 first and then 3. So if I substitute 1, I'll be getting t equal to 0. If I substitute 3, I'll be getting t is equal to 1. The same way for this term, okay, I'll be substituting y is equal to 2 and y is equal to 5. And for this value of z, I'll be substituting z equal to 3 and z equal to 7. For all these 3 values, for all these 6 values, I'm getting only 2 values of t, which is t is equal to 0 and t is equal to 1. So my common limit of t equal to 0 and t equal to 1 will be taken over a single integral 0 to 1, and substituting this entire f vector dot dr vector, I'll be taking dot product, integrating, substituting the value, getting the answer. Thank you so much for watching.